Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome everybody to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, whether you're here in person, which is always lovely to get your beautiful energy, or whether you're joining us online either today or any future moment. So we're continuing a grand rising for 2024, and that's how we've never done it for March. And then today the topic is how to make this week holy, metaphysically. So we're going to explore this whole idea of what's known in the Abrahamic religions, the Judeo-Christian world, and the Islamic world is all these holidays that are happening right now at this time. And the whole idea is that it's always inviting a rising up, which it kind of has for thousands of years, right? So we're looking at the metaphysical interpretation, and then we're going to really reflect on how we can make this week, in a metaphysical way, more about reflection and renewal and revival. So if you are here for the first time, we are so glad you're with us. You get a free book today. And if you're with us for the first time online, we're so grateful that you're here. We invite you to peruse our website, cslmorristown.org. There's all kinds of events. Like today, we have a sound bath. And that happens at 1 o'clock. And on the flyer, it said no walk-ins, but because only 7 people signed up, there is room for some of you to stay that did not sign up. So we'll make that work. And there's no yoga tonight with Hannah. She's not feeling well. So we're going to put yoga on Zoom on pause for a little while. There is a new experience we're going to have starting in April, which is the third time of the book discussion, the book study of The Untethered Soul. But this one is going to be during the week, Wednesday night, on Zoom, which means that the whole world can join us, and it's not just in person like we did it the last 2 times. So if you'd like to be on our mailing list that will tell you everything that's going on, we are co-sponsoring Dances of Universal Peace with Brookside Church in April. So that's going to happen on April 27th. And Kathy is going to be helping me print a flyer for our next potluck, which is May 17th. Friday, May 17th. So you'll hear more about that. And we are blessed today to have Susan Neat with us. She's a licensed practitioner of CSL Princeton. And she will do the Treatment Express, which is you get a mini treatment at the end of celebration. So you don't get to share your whole life story. It's just a request. Would you pray for this? And then she will do that. If you need more time, need more depth, need more of the experience, contact any of our practitioners or any practitioner, because there's thousands of them in CSL, to support you in that. So let's do our Namaste practice. Today I want to do it a little bit differently, because Namaste is you put your hands together and you bless people and they bless you. We're going to do something a little bit different. So put your hands together and say to somebody, I see you.
I see you.
I see you.
I'm so glad you see me. I'm so glad you see me. And I love you. I love you. And thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me. All right, let's do an opening treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you, which is just one very simple way where we let go of any and all distractions and bring our attention to our inner life, our inner heart of hearts. And so right here, right now, we open our minds and our hearts and our bodies and our souls to the experience at hand. The experience of spiritual communion. There's nothing like being in holy communion, in sacred community with other human beings, with other spiritual beings, and we know we're both. because it's in the connection that we get to remember who and what and whose we really are. So today we open our mind to the experience of remembrance, the experience of constant renewal, which asks of us to constantly let go of the old. And we've been given a lifetime to do so, and a life which then becomes a spiritual practice to experience it in a deeper and a richer way. So we let go of anything that's in the way today and just open ourselves to the experience that not just we are having here, but the whole world is having when it comes to celebrating spring and all the holidays that happen at this time. And so we are filled with awe and gratitude, with awe and wonder, and with a sense of blessedness for the gift of life. And so it is.
And so it is.
So, I need to grab my book, which means I'm going to stick my face in the camera. All right. So, in the Judeo-Christian world, really the Abrahamic religions, which includes Islam, there is big stuff happening. There's big celebrations going on. We just are in the middle or towards the end of Lent. Anybody here celebrating Lent? I'm the only person. We're two people doing Lent. I'm doing Lent, so every day I do a reading and a practice. And then there's Ramadan, which is a 30-day practice, which ends in April. Anybody doing Ramadan? I'm doing Ramadan as well. I figure, hey, Lent, Ramadan, why not? And I look for the metaphysical practice of it, which is so rich. It's just a new way of looking at it. I just have not been able to give up chocolate. So I'm just like, okay, let's do it a little bit differently, right? And so at the end of Ramadan is the holiday Eid al-Fitr, if I say this right. And then Passover happens in April, so it's a little further apart right now. But all of it is the celebration of spring. Before there was any religion, there was the celebration in the pagan practices of the goddess Ostara. Another name for her is Estro, which sounds like Easter, right? And that was the goddess of fertility. She represented Gaia, the Mother Earth, and it was of the celebration of spring. There was the hare, her spirit animal. There were eggs, symbols of rebirth, and of course there was chocolate. Not. And so Holy Week in the Judeo-Christian world started yesterday with Lazarus Saturday. And it ends on Easter Sunday. And every day is a day of celebration. Every day is a moment in time that represents Jesus leaving the desert after being in the desert for 40 days. How long is Lent?
40 days.
Right? And the celebration of him being very clear about what his experience was about. It had no coincidences. There were no accidents. So today is the celebration of Palm Sunday. Next Sunday is the celebration of Easter. And this whole week is considered to be the Holy Week. And so what that represents is the whole idea of renewal, being made new. And that, I've talked about that the whole month. The first Sunday is being made new. The second Sunday was ready for a new day. And then last week was, so it's a consciousness thing? So I think most of you now remember that what we've been building up to this whole month is about looking at ourselves in a new way, letting go of the old. So if you think about it, it is a time for a rebirth. And those of you who have missed any of those Sundays and are curious, guess what? The live stream will be on YouTube forever. So you can go back and kind of see the thread that I was talking about, the invitation that I asked you to look at and experience and to say, well, who am I today? Not who I was, not who I'm afraid to be, not what I worry about, not my anxieties, not my conditioning. I need to let those go by stepping into the true beingness of my true essential nature and seeing the opportunity to live that in a new way. And we get to have a lifetime to do that. And there's so much support. I know all of you go to a licensed practitioner at least once a week, or have a prayer partner, at least one or two of them, to support you in your journey, right? I have 3, so, and I need them. There's one over there. I love it, Janice. So we want to make sure that we have the support so that when we go through our day, when we go through life, when we go through our week, and we bump into our old self, there is someone that we can reach out to support us and to remind us who we really are, which is that which wants to be made new. It's not the old. That's just there. It's just Christopher the Mail. So what this whole month has been about, and what all this holiday stuff is about in a metaphysical way, is this idea that we're all arriving at a level of new consciousness. That we are made new. We're not the same person we were even yesterday. We're not the same person we were a month ago. But the question is, what do I identify with? That old self or this new self? Because sometimes that new self is not alive yet. It hasn't been birthed yet. So we want to stay in that place of knowing that the new is coming, is being reborn. And we use our real life experiences. And that's spiritual life. Spiritual life is not coming to a sound bath, although it's lovely. It's not meditating. It's not doing your prayers, although that's a part of it. It's not sitting on a mountaintop. It's not going on a retreat. It's not even taking a class, although it's part of it. It is our everyday living. And where we bump into things, people, places, is just a mirror of what wants to be made new and what wants to be let go of. And so there are basically 3 things that happened to Jesus, that the master teacher Jesus, that are still very alive in each of us today, 2,000 plus years later. Isn't it interesting that we still don't get that? We still quite haven't learned. We're still in the process of learning. That's because it's a gift to our evolution, not a burden. And so isn't it interesting, too, that it's 3 things? Remember last week I talked about the 3-leaf clover and how it represented the Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, although I forgot to mention that. Norman reminded me. But it's the seed, the soil, the plant, it's spirit, soul, body, or form. And so here is another 3, number 3, that's very significant that happened to Jesus. The first thing was the betrayal. Anybody here ever experienced betrayal? Most of us. In some way, shape, or form, whether it's from somebody else or you betrayed yourself. Right? Betrayal, death, abuse, pain, heartache, loss. Anybody never experienced any of that? What if that's not a punishment or a burden? What if that's actually for us and not against us? What if we start thinking that way? Oh, this is for me instead of against me. Because that's what the master teacher Jesus taught. That's what he believed. Even though the people around him were like, what? You crazy, JC? He knew it because he navigated that. He created that experience so that he could evolve. And so there's tragedy, right, that you and I all have experienced in some way, shape, or form. Then the next thing was triumph. He triumphed over all those betrayals, all those losses, all those heartaches, all those pains, all those worries and anxieties. Another teaching that is ours to practice, to embrace, and to embody. Anybody here ever triumph over a challenge in the past? Of course. Of course. If you haven't, you really need a practitioner. Really, really, really. Or you really need to take a class. Right? So what is one thing that you have triumphed over in your life? I don't want a story. I just want you to name it. What have you triumphed over in your life?
Addiction.
Addiction.
Cancer.
Cancer.
Fear.
Fear.
Surgeries.
Surgeries.
Abuse.
Abuse.
Loss.
Loss. That's it? Wow, you guys are amazing. I think I'm talking to the wrong crowd.
Childbirth.
Childbirth. Right? Disease, loss of a loved one, financial ruin, loss of a job, difficult people, living in a world that seems to be falling apart, blah, 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 climate change. I mean, I know most of us are not directly affected by that, but just this morning I drove on River Road and the road was almost a river. So there are things happening that maybe I'm not affected by, but I know there are a lot of people in our neighborhood that got flooded again. So there's all kinds of things, right? But there's things that we overcome. There are things that each of you have overcome. So what we tend to do is we tend to look at those tragedies as, oh, woe is me, and we love to carry around with them and show them to everybody, right? Whether we're conscious of that or not, consciously doing that or not. But we get to more and more and more on the spiritual journey say, yes, I've overcome. Wow, I am made new. I'm a different person now. I'm more open. I'm more receptive. I'm more blessed. I'm more grateful. I'm more capable. I'm more healthy. I'm more abundant. All those things we get to notice. And then the third thing is transformation. Transformation really is this idea of rebirth. And the master teacher Jesus said, the Christ consciousness is not who I am. The Christ consciousness is within you. It is within you. I think that's why many of us left the traditional religions, because it was outside somewhere and looked kind of Santa Claus-like. But we discovered that it's within us. And Christ is not Jesus. The Christ means the part of us that is anointed. The part of us that is whole and healed and healthy. The part of us that is truth-focused. The part of us that doesn't know of any tragedy. The part of us that is inherently whole, perfect, and complete, always has been, always will be, is right here and right now. And that's what we must trust more and more and more. That's what we must have faith in. And that's what the master teacher Jesus taught over 2,000 years ago. So if you still have any resistance, if you were raised in the Judeo-Christian world around that whole story, the Jesus story, it's time to let that one go. Because the way we let it go is we see it from a metaphysical perspective, where this is the Father within you doeth the work. And it's not the male energy. Hey, we're celebrating Women's History Month, right? Mm-hmm. It is the Christ consciousness within us. It is the Spirit within us. It is the truth already within us. It's our divine nature. So that was his message. And so this week is a really powerful week for us to reflect on all that. To kind of sit down and say, what is it that's old that doesn't serve me anymore, that I'm still carrying around in my backpack? That I tell everywhere I go. That I want people to know. That I want people to understand. That I want people to hear. want people to be very careful around, that I'm struggling with and I'm thinking about it all the time, or I'm focused on it so much that it becomes a job, right? So we want to really pay attention to that and ask ourselves, what is it that no longer serves me? What is it that no longer serves me? And all that without judgment and shame, right? Because it's about triumph, not about tragedy. And to notice what it is that we get attached to. What is it that we get attached to? I have a little bit of judgment, about that much, about people who know everything. Know-it-alls. Anybody have a know-it-all in your world?
Yeah, me.
Me too. But I was seeing it in somebody else, a sibling. So I was like, and a couple of people that I know that I'm not super close to, and I was kind of like reflecting on that as I was doing this, and I went, so let me just own and claim that I sometimes am a know-it-all, which is true. And I don't like that about myself. And so what is that? So I got to look at that and peel away the layers, and then I arrived at that place. It's like, hell, I don't know it all at all. I'm very willing to step into beginner's mind, but there's a part of me that knows a lot. And can I just honor that? I don't have to push it on anybody else, but that real knowing is like, yes, I'm at a place where I feel pretty aware, pretty conscious. Are there still areas where I'm not? Hell yes, or heaven yes. But I'm willing to see that. So what it allowed me to do is to bless those that I judge as know-it-alls and own back my part in it, celebrate the good, and decide to let go of the old that doesn't serve me. So think about your most common story. Your most heartachy story. Is it a past relationship? Is it a financial burden? Is it your growing up? Is it your addictions? Because, we have plenty of them now. We don't realize that they're all addictions, right? But we get to look at that. So we just begin to ask those questions. Does anybody feel like saying out loud what is their most common complaint or story from the past that they hold on to? Anybody? Again, shame-free zone. You all love. Anybody?
I don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time. Yes, I used to carry that one around with 2 big buckets. Not enough time. What else?
Not enough education.
Not enough education.
My body's not strong enough.
My body's not strong enough. Oh, I'm so proud of you for saying that out loud. I have goosebumps. Thank you, everybody. Saying anything else?
Losing money.
I'm losing money. So usually they're in the 4 areas of life, right? Health, expression, self-expression, abundance, or love. So we get to notice those common stories and say, what is this? What is this? And I'm around a lot of people. I love observing people. I love getting to know people. I love teaching classes. I love each and every one of you. And I watch you. And I listen. And all of it in the realm of love. I just want you to know I'm not judging you. I just my heart just opens. And the most common stories that are limiting us that I've noticed are self-criticism, self-judgment. Anybody have that one? Yes. Or guilt is connected to that too, right? Guilt, because that's how we beat ourselves up. And then there's being over-identified with our conditions. Being over-identified with our condition. I have this, I am that, and then afterwards comes a limiting idea, right? And then the third one that I find is most common is focusing on lack. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough love, I don't have enough, right? Which is a powerful affirmation, you all. I'm starting to speak with a southern accent. That's a powerful affirmation. Notice where you think, feel, or say that. Because it's not just a thought, a feeling, or a saying. It is a consciousness belief that you carry wherever you go, and it is mirrored back to you by life. So we really want to look at that and let those go. So I say, let's practice KISS. What does KISS stand for?
Keep it simple.
Sweetheart.
Who said stupid? Change it to sweetheart. Keep it simple, sweetheart. Yes. Never, ever, ever say stupid. Doesn't exist. Sweetheart is an opportunity to stop overthinking everything. To stop overthinking everything. Right? Anybody else do that? Overthink everything? Yes. So what do we do then? Well, how about underthink? Isn't that great? We underthink. What does that mean? Underthink means just be, just allow, just surrender, just reflect. Make choices. And if you have to make those choices 100 times a day, make those choices that serve you, that support you, that allows you to remember who you really are, that reminds you to feel blessed and grateful. It's about letting go of the ways that don't work anymore. It's about surrendering them to your Christ consciousness, to your higher self, your higher knowing. And it's about celebration. So this week really is about celebration. And what do you need to let go of so that you can fully celebrate your true nature, your essential nature, the grace that is already in you? And all of this message of the week from a metaphysical point of view for us is a message that has existed since the beginning of time. It's a 2,000-year plus message and story if we look at it in the context of the Abrahamic religions, because in Judaism, in Christianity, and in Islam, it was Abraham who was their prophet. And so our prophet is none of those. It's the presence and the power of spirit within your and my Christ consciousness. That's what makes us new. So we look at something that doesn't serve us and we ask, what's the invitation here? What do I need to listen to? And then we affirm that. So I want you to repeat after me. I am made new today. Turn to somebody else and say, you are made new today. Do it again. You are made new today. And so am I. And so it is.
And so it is. You are made new today.
What was I going to play again? Okay, here we go.
I love to stand up and clap.
I did.
Let's do it, everybody. Stand up. Come on, rise up. Rise up. Rise up. Clap your hands. Woo! I could not sit still during that. Why did
I do not sit still.
Thank
Hair
you.
moves me.
Thank you for humoring me. I just had to rise up and clap my hands. Oh, so my name is Susan Neat from Princeton CSL, and it's always a pleasure to rise up and be here. So thank you for this opportunity. So as you heard Reverend Frankie talk about, this Holy Week was a experience for Jesus of anger, of loss, of pain, of betrayal, and we parallel that to our own lives. Of course, we experience those and we learn to overcome them. We have our own resurrections, and so we're going to do a meditation sort of based around that, and then I'm going to read a poem by Rudolf Steiner just because I like it. And it called to me this morning, and I can't say it actually is parallel to what we're speaking about, but it's always relevant because it's about love. So I was reading It's All God. Walter Starkey wrote the book, and this is what he has to say about this week and the resurrection. Death and resurrection doesn't happen once in a person's lifetime. Every time you experience divorce, every time you experience a loss of job, and he went on and on and on and on. These are openings, the potentials for a shift in consciousness. And I call it Groundhog Day. I mean, that's supposed to be February 2nd, but if you think about it and you've seen the movie, this is the path that we're on. Joel Goldsmith refers to it as dying daily, or releasing the veil. Every layer we peel away just gives more room for the Christ consciousness to light and be what it is. It's our highest self. So Rudolf Steiner actually wrote a poem called Uprising in Dying, and that's why we rise up. So we're actually going to stay seated, but we're going to rise up in our own way through this meditation. So I invite you, first and foremost, to just release and relax for a moment, closing your eyes and taking that nice deep breath. Just allowing that breath to circulate, knowing that that breath is the breath of God. And first, as we feel this breath, we know that any time two or more are gathered in its name, there is love. And there is the guidance of this inner self, this inner wisdom being, this Christ consciousness. So any thoughts that come, observe them. Let them go if they don't serve this process. Just be with the process of breath. And as we breathe, for a moment we consider an obstacle. Something right now that we may think is holding us from our greatest good. Whatever it might be, small or large. And look at that obstacle, this current obstacle. Is it anger at someone? Is it afraid to do something new? Is it a health issue? And just look at that obstacle with these eyes of love and gratitude. That it can create an opening for you to rise up. So we sit in gratitude for all of our obstacles and opportunities to rise up. We feel that presence of light, that incredible lightness of our true being. And grateful for anything that's blocking that recognition, because it brings us to our knees sometimes. It brings us to that place where we are able to receive. So now just relax with your breath, and each in-breath, allow yourself to feel lighter, feel that uprising. And each exhale is that dying, that release of what doesn't serve you. It's a little mantra. The breath in is the uprising, and the exhale is the release. And just sit with that. Lightening on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. And just be with that. Just be with that breath of life, uprising and letting go, uprising and letting go. And as you sit in this place of openness, of gratitude, of release and rebirth, renewal, enjoy these lovely words by Rudolf Steiner. They are in the first person. So I invite you to listen and see the words in action. The sun stands high above. Can we see that sun? That warmth, that light shining down on us. It gives us kindly light that we can see the truth. And in this light, God gives us strength, the noble strength of life. That is God's omnipotency, the noble strength of life. And this strength streams everywhere, in every stone, in all the plants, the life force of the plants, the strength of the stone, in animals and man, and in my own heart. Love is my home. So I invite you to bring your two hands to your heart and just think these words. Love is my home. Love is my home. So we know that every time we go through this experience, we come back home to love. So take a few more nice breaths and start to wiggle your way back into the room, bringing your awareness back to your body, to your seat, to your hands, stretching or moving your shoulders if you have to. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here. Namaste.
Namaste.
Love is my home. Love is your home. I love that. So beautiful. All right, so now we get to share of our love and our abundance and our good to support this sweet community, Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown. Those of you that give online or give every other week or every once a year, just when the basket passes, just hold your hand over it for a moment and just bless the abundance that we get to experience so that we can be, so that we can come together. And there's many ways to give. If you want to find out about that, there's a list in the back on that little table. But if you want to give today, if you use an envelope, we can send you a total giving for the year for your taxes. If not, it's fine too. And so let's pass this. There's pens in there. If you need to write something out, just keep it moving and it will come back to you. So let's do this affirmation together. And again, if you don't give, your presence is a gift today, and we're glad you're here. Divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It returns to me,
It returns to me,
multiplied abundantly.
multiplied abundantly.
As I share my goods,
As I share my good,
I accept my greater goods.
I accept my greater good.
So, there's a couple things I want to tell you after the live stream is off. And in the meantime, Susan is going to close us with a healing treatment. And then we have a song that we're going to sing together. And you're invited to get up and dance if you feel you want to move your body. But it's a call and response. So Karen Drucker sings and then we sing. And we're just going to sing together. So Susan.
So let's close those eyes as we sit in the consciousness of oneness. I speak these words for each one here for this lovely service and for each one that is here virtually, knowing that there is only one divine life, and that life is expressing itself perfectly in, as, and through each of us present and each of us in the world and beyond. This loving presence opening our hearts to receive the truth, which is the light within that doeth the work. So each one here leaves here revitalized, refreshed, and ready for the wonderful renewal that is ever present, always offering itself, always in service, that each one can express God in its fullness. Each person can go about the day and see God's shining presence in everything, in that stone, in those flowers, in that tree, in that blessed pet, in their loved ones. And each one can shine their light that the whole world is healed and served, because that is God's way, to express and experience its truth, that it can experience this love and light in all things, in all ways. So each one leaves here feeling the blessing of love, the blessing of light, the power of truth, the power of love, and divine joy. And this is a truth. It's the only truth that can be, because there is only one, and that one is all those things. Love, light, peace, power, joy, harmony, beauty. So with great gratitude that this truth can be, and with great gratitude that I know this truth, I release these words, and we all say together,
And so it is.
and so it is.
It's not super danceable, but you can sway.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, feeling love. Holy, healing me. Holy, open my heart. Holy, allow me to see. Holy, beauty and love. We are holy, lives in me. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, We are whole.